Thank you ever so much. I'm absolutely delighted to be here. Dorking is kind of a really important place when it comes to dinosaurs in Britain. And I don't know if any of you know this. I know some of you in the audience know this because I've talked to you about it in the past. But there's an incredibly important discovery that was made here or very close to here. And that's one of the things I'll talk briefly about this evening. And certainly it'll be part of what the exhibition will be about going forward from next week. I'm a paleontologist, okay, a paleobiologist. I'm an academic. Kind of makes sense. I'm 50. I'm a beardy middle-aged white man. Of course, I'm an academic. I wasn't always a beardy middle-aged white man. In 1983, I was a beardy toddler. Um, and in 1983, I wasn't a toddler. I was 7. Um, but in 1983, something wonderful happened. It was on Newsround. It was on all over the place. It was absolutely wonderful. I have my mother to thank, and you have my mother to thank. She's sitting in the second row for me standing here because she sat me down in 1979 to watch A Life on Earth, David Attenborough. But in 1983, all these wonderful things that I'd learned in Life on Earth and had retained and thought was wonderful came to be because a new and exciting dinosaur was discovered by this man, William Walker. He was looking for fossils in the clay pit just across the way, Smokejack's quarry, and he found this wonderful object. This is the first manual claw of baryonyx. Wasn't called baryonyx at the time, but when they looked at it and said, that's a really heavy claw, what does heavy claw, what's Greek for heavy claw? Baryonyx. That's where it got its name from. And all of a sudden we find it, and it's one of the most complete specimens of theropod dinosaur that exists in the world. It's an amazing specimen. I was 7 years old. I absolutely remember this on John Craven's Newsround of it being presented. It's wonderful. And it's a spinosaur. There hasn't been any spinosaurs known since 1943. We've now got one, and it's in Britain, and it's now, you can go and see this. It's on display up at the Natural History Museum. It's about 9 meters long. There is a human for scale. That isn't Dan Foulkes, but he did do the drawing. It's a remarkable specimen. It was described in 1986, and it's been described various times throughout. This animal has conical, pointed teeth, superficially like a crocodile, with this big claw for maybe hooking fish out of the water like a grizzly bear. And not only do we now suggest from its teeth that it ate fish, we know from the fossil, because there are acid-etched fish scales in the region of its stomach, and the acid etching is really important because if it's died and washed into a river and it's sitting there in a lake and sink to the bottom, that's all one thing. And a fish could die as well and wash into the same place. But because it's acid-etched fish scales, the only way they get acid-etched is if they've been partially digested. So we know that this animal absolutely, definitely is eating fish. We know that it was also at least scavenging or hunting juveniles because there's an acid-etched juvenile vertebra from a juvenile iguanodon in its gut region as well. So these animals they're incredibly exciting. 1983. And so this is the environment that we could expected to see about 135 million years ago in this very region. Hugely diverse population of dinosaurs. I would like to point out that there is an amazing exhibition starting next week. Hidden in Stone, Dorking's Dinosaur Discovery. This is the Dorking's Dinosaur Discovery. This is baryonyx. This is a wonderful ceramic dinosaur skull and a wonderful ceramic crocodile head made by one of the most talented artists I've ever met, Karen Fawcett, who sculpts all of these things in ridiculously short amounts of time and, well, basically produced the artifacts, the things that went into the exhibition that I had on in Southampton and that some of which you'll be seeing next week. These are all the people, all the groups that I could find who are working on the exhibition. You'll see things like this. You'll see things like this. This is a wonderful piece of artwork. Here's an iguanodon wandering over southern England. You'll see iguanodon skulls as well, because although they might not be theropods, these were around here at the same time as well. here is a wonderful diorama that is basically the painting that you've seen all the way through, and that is me. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.